Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vandeham Shri Guru Varam Shri Rupanuga Pravaram Rajras Rasikam Cha Narayanam Tam Prapannam Shri Guru Charanam Vande Ramana Pristhaya Bhutale Rupanuga Bhaktidam Cha Kripamurti Narayanam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jai Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my Dandavata Pranams, respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of our spiritual masters, Nitlai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev, and Nitlai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Vaman Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev, to the entire Rupana Gauriya Guru Varga, to our guardians, and to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis present today. So on the order of the Vaishnavas who cannot come here because of all the construction work that's going on, no. So it's saying that they need some rest also. So on the order of Prabhuji, try speaking a few words on today's Ekadashi, which is Kamika Ekadashi. No. So today's Ekadashi is called Kamika Ekadashi. So we know there are many Ekadashis. No, in 1 year there are 24 Ekadashis. There are 24 Ekadashis and 3 or 4 Mahadwadashis and many appearance days of Bhagavan and his incarnations. So therefore, in total, there are 30 days of fasting. No. In 1 year, there are 12 months. So out of the 12 months, 11 months is for the sadhak. And 1 month consisting of these 24 days of Ekadashis and all the other days, like Gaur Purnima, Baldev Purnima, Janmashtami, Ram Navami, Narsingha Chaturdashi, Advait Saptami, Nityanand Trayodashi. Along with all these days, there are like around 30-32 days of fasting. So therefore, for the sadhak, 1 month is completely dedicated for Bhagavan and his seva, while the other 11 months he can do as he wishes. So now, since there are 24 Ekadashis in 1 year, does anyone remember the names of the different Ekadashis? No. If there are 24 Ekadashis, at least you can remember the names of 5 or 6 Ekadashis. So can anyone remember the names of 5 or 6 Ekadashis at least? You're following Ekadashi twice a month since so many years now. At least you should remember the names, no? Shayan Ekadashi and? One at a time you say. Utpan Ekadashi and? Pandav Nirjal and? Garima? Baima? Kamada, not Kamala, Kamada. Kamada Ekadashi. Annada Ekadashi, Mohini Ekadashi, Shattil Ekadashi, Nirjal Ekadashi, Mohini, Varuttani, Mokshada, Jai is Mahadwadashi. Then that Jai is Mahadwadashi. Jai Pakshavardhani, they are Mahadwadashis. Utpan is also Ekadashi. And Putrada Ekadashi. Sattil, that's all he mentioned. And this were many Ekadashis in this 1 year. So therefore, Ekadashi Devi, she appears with these different names. And with every different name she appears, she carries a speciality. No. Like we say, when Krishna appears in different incarnations, every incarnation has a particular speciality. No. When Krishna appears as Ram, he has one particular speciality. When he appears as Narsingadev, there is one speciality. When he appears as Vamandev, one particular speciality. Similarly, when Ekadashi Devi appears in all these different forms, she appears with one particular speciality. Like when she appears as Moksha the Ekadashi, what does she bestow? just moksha, liberation. What is the meaning of moksha? What is the meaning of mukti? Mukti means sarupena vyavasthiti, means to be established in your sarup. And when one is established in his sarup, automatically, naturally he will render services to Radha and Krishna according to his constitutional nature, constitutional position. So therefore, in this form as mokshada, she gives this mukti. Means she makes sure that you are established in your position. And then when she appears as Annada Ekadashi. So what does she do? As Annada Ekadashi, Annada means, Anna means rice. But actually if you see, one particle of rice actually represents every Jivatma. No, what is the meaning of Annakut Mahotsav? Annakut Mahotsav means there's Annakut, there's like so much rice. But actually what does it mean? It means all these Jivas collectively they're being offered onto the lotus feet of Sri Giriraj Govardhan. Similarly, in the form of Annada Ekadashi, what does she do? She collects the hearts of all the different living entities and she offers them onto Radha and Krishna's lotus feet. Similarly, in the other forms as well, as Utpan Ekadashi. Utpan means that is the day Ekadashi Devi is born in this world. No. When is Utpan Ekadashi? Utpan Ekadashi is after Kartik in Agrahan Mas. When we follow Katyayani Vrat, then she appears as Utpan Ekadashi. But actually, when she appears with this name, what does it mean? It means Bhakti is born within our hearts. Not that Ekadashi is born. Although Ekadashi Devi appears on this day, still, what does she do? She makes Bhakti appear within our hearts. Utpan. Bhakti Utpan. She makes sure that pure Bhakti arises in our hearts. And then there's Shayan Ekadashi. Like some months before, some days before, we observed Shayan Ekadashi. What is the meaning of Shayan Ekadashi? Means Vishnu himself is resting. So Ekadashi Devi herself, she makes sure that Krishna is resting. What does it mean when it says Vishnu is resting? It means for these 4 months of Chaturmasya, Vishnu is with the Brajavasis. Krishna is with the Brajavasis. No. When we say Vishnu, Vishnu actually means Krishna himself. Krishna actually, what has he done? He has given this name Vishnu to the other forms of Godhead. All these other names that we hear of, Ram, Narsingha, Vaman, Trivikram, Madhav, all these names are actually Krishna's names. But Krishna, what does he do? He gives these names to the other incarnations. And then these incarnations are known by those names. Therefore, when we address Vishnu, we must know that Krishna himself is the original Vishnu. Why? Because he is addressed as such in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore, on Shayan Ekadashi, what does Ekadashi Devi do? She arranges that Krishna takes rest. Rather, she arranges that all the materialists, all the smarter Brahmins, all the karmis, jnanis, yogis, tapasvis, they are all cheated. In the sense, they are all told that Bhagavan is resting now. Krishna is resting, so don't disturb him. Which means what? Actually, he's with the Vrajavasis. So Ekadashi Devi, she arranges for this. And on Dev Uttan Ekadashi, what does she do? On Dev Uttan Ekadashi, then gradually, Krishna, he finishes all these leelas that he performs with Vrajavasis. And then again this pastime takes place of maintenance of this material world. So then in this way, she appears in different forms. All these different forms she appears, no. And then in Kartik, she appears as Rama Ekadashi. In this way, Rama Devi, she appears in this form in Kartik. So in this way, all these different specialities of Ekadashi Devi, they correspond with every appearance of hers. So now, this class was spoken by Prabhuji in 2015, August. So here, this I'll just read as much as we can. So today is Kamika Ekadashi, the first Ekadashi that comes in our Chaturmasya Vrat. So Chaturmasya Vrat started, no? On the day of Guru Purnima, Chaturmasya started. And the Ekadashi before Guru Purnima was Shayan Ekadashi. So today is Kamika Ekadashi, the first Ekadashi that comes in our Chaturmasya Vrat. And which is the last Ekadashi in our Chaturmasya? Which is the last one? Uttan? No. Dev Uttan, yes, Dev Uttan. Correct. Dev Uttan Ekadashi. Uttan means Vishnu, he is made to arise during this time. Utpan is after Uttan. So now Krishna, he is resting. People have so many desires. These are called Kamana. People have no patience. After working hard, someone goes to rest. But then again, they say, give me this, give me that. They have unlimited desires and they cannot stop these desires. And even all these desires cannot be fulfilled. No, like we see, no. Why did Lord Shiva appear in this world as Shankaracharya? What is the reason? Once Lord Shiva, he was speaking to Parvati. And then when he was speaking to Parvati Devi, he was saying, oh Parvati, there are certain so-called spiritualists in this world who apply ashes on their body, who have big dreadlocks on their head, who have skulls around their necks, who don't dress properly. They're called the Naga Babas. Then there are many who practice black magic and all these things. So then Parvati Devi, she said, who are these people? Lord Shiva said, they're called Pashandis. Pashandis means they're atheists. You must be very careful of them. Lord Shiva warned Parvati. But then Parvati, she asked Lord Shiva, then why are you yourself wearing these ashes around your body? Why have you smeared ashes on your body? Why are you wearing these garland of skulls around your neck? If you say that these people are atheists and like demons, then why are you doing like this? So then Lord Shiva said, there is a great secret behind this that I haven't told anyone before. But since Parvati, you are a great devotee, I will only tell you this. So then Lord Shiva said that once Krishna himself, his Prabhu, called Lord Shiva. And he said, oh Shiv Thakur, in this world, many great demons, what are they doing? On the pretext of performing bhakti, they only pray to me that all their desires should be fulfilled. So therefore they engage in bhakti. But their bhakti is only so-called. It is only a pretense. It is not real devotion in itself. So therefore, my Prabhu Krishna, he told me that you should stop these people from engaging themselves in practicing bhakti. Because when they practice bhakti, what happens? Then even the devotees, they are troubled by them. No. When there's someone practicing the limbs of bhakti, then what does he do? By his acharan, by his own behavior, he also disturbs the others then. Then even the devotees, they'll have doubts in their hearts. Saying, how can such a nonsense person who has such bad desires in his heart, how can he possibly practice bhakti? No. So then the devotees are also troubled by the actions of such a person. No. Like even sometimes in the temple also, sometimes someone or the other, they might do something which will cause so much trouble in the minds of the other brahmacharis. Then the brahmacharis are troubled by this person. No, then they'll have so many questions. Why is he doing like this? Why is he doing like that? So similarly, the devotees are also pained by the actions of such materialistic people who practice devotion. So then Krishna, he told Lord Shiva that you must cheat these people. So Lord Shiva said, how can I possibly cheat them? You must cheat them by propagating what? Mayavad. And not only you must also empower other saintly souls to cheat these people. So Krishna, he specifically instructed Shiv Thakur that also you must inspire the other sadhus. And Lord Shiva said, how can I do such a thing? This is such a great disservice onto your lotus feet. How can I possibly cheat people of your service? Krishna said they must be cheated because they are not even devotees in the first place. They are only show bottle devotees. No. So cheat them. You don't worry. Then Lord Shiva said, how? By preaching all sorts of Mayavad. You must teach to them that everyone is God. You, me, everyone else we see, everything else we see, everything is God. Animate, inanimate, moving, non-moving, stationary, moving, everything, all that you see is God. So you must cheat them in this way. So then Shiv Thakur said, all right. So then Krishna said also, you must inspire the others, like Kannad, Gautam Rishi, and all the other disciples of Vyasadeva also, no? They also, like Jaimini, he wrote this Karma Mimamsa philosophy. So you must also inspire them to preach at least atheism in some covered form or the other. So then Shiv Thakur said, all right. But then how can I be protected from this? How can I become immune to such critical tendencies? Then Krishna said, you don't worry. You always remember me. All these things will never touch you. So then Shiv Thakur himself, he started preaching Mayavad and all these things. And then we see, following the footsteps of Shiv Thakur, when he appeared as Shankaracharya, all over India, so many people became Mayavadis. So many. And the different sects of Mayavadis. Some sects of Mayavadis are very scholarly. They follow all the Shastras and they dress properly. They have Tripundra Tilak. But some Mayavadis are the Naga Babas. They're almost naked. They smear ashes on their bodies. They have skulls around their neck. So different forms of Mayavadis came. And in this way, what happened? The pure path of devotional service was kept intact. It was not polluted anymore by the others. So in this way, we see that in this way, Krishna himself arranges that all these people, they be cheated. Because they have so many mundane desires, material desires. No. Like one more example is given in the Puranas. That once the demigods and the demons, they started fighting amongst each other. So then what happened? The demigods, they started defeating the demons. So then the demons, they took shelter of Bhrigu Rishi's wife. So Bhrigu Muni, as we know, he's actually a great devotee. So then the demons, they took shelter of his wife when Bhrigu Muni was away. So then what did Bhrigu Muni's wife do? When the demigods came, she put all the demigods to sleep. She made sure that all the demigods, they started sleeping. So then the demons, they started thinking that, oh, the demigods are sleeping now, we can easily defeat them. Then Krishna, he appeared as Vamandev, as the younger brother of Indra. Then what did he tell Indra? Immediately he told Indra that, Indra, you enter into my body. When you enter into my body, then you will no longer fall asleep. So in Indra, he entered inside Krishna's body. So then Bhrigu Rishi's wife, she saw what was happening. And then what did she do? She became very angry. And then as she was about to release more and more weapons, in fact she even wanted to kill Indra. Then Vamandev, he released his Sudarshan Chakra and he killed Bhrigu Rishi's wife. And then anyhow Bhrigu Rishi, he appeared and then he brought his wife back to life. So then, the demon's guru, Shukracharya, he said, all right, I will go to austerities, I'll please Shiv Thakur, and I'll get such power that the demigods will never be able to defeat you. So then he went into the forest to perform austerities. So then Indra, he had a daughter. He has a son called Jayanta. And he has a daughter called Jayanti. So he told Jayanti that, Jayanti, I am offering you into the service of Shukracharya. You go to Shukracharya and anyhow distract him. You distract him and you make him fall away from his austerities. So then what happened? Shukracharya, he was performing austerities for so many years and Jayanti was serving him by his side, Indra's daughter. And when Shukracharya, he opened his eyes, he saw this beautiful lady standing next to him. So then automatically he saw her and this lady was standing next to him. So then he said, all right, I'll fulfill all your desires. So then they started engaging in sense gratification for so many years. Then meanwhile what happened? Brihaspati, the guru of the demigods, he appeared in the form of Shukracharya. And then he started cheating the demons in all sorts of ways. He also started preaching Mayavad. He also started saying the same thing. That, oh, there's no need to follow your guru, there's no need to follow Bhagavan, there's no need to do anything. You can do as you wish, as you please. You can do anything. So then all the demons were very happy by his instructions. So then Shukracharya, meanwhile, he returned to the kingdom. So there he saw Brihaspati. There he saw Brihaspati in his own form as Shukracharya. And Shukracharya, he told Brihaspati, oh Brihaspati, you're so deceitful. Previously you sent your own son, Kaush. You sent your own son Kaush here to learn this Mrityu Sanjivani from me. This art of bringing the dead back to life. So then what happened? My disciples, the demons, they killed your son. You don't remember. And then I brought your son back to life. I spared your son's life. And now you're so shameless. You again come in my form to cheat the demons. So then Brihaspati, he told all the demons, all his disciples, that don't listen to him. He's a cheater. Rather you listen to me. So then Shukracharya said, hey, you demons, you're so foolish. Take him and throw him into the ocean. Don't listen to any word he says. And anyhow, the demons said, we don't believe you, we believe him. Then they said, we believe Brihaspati, we don't believe you. So then Shukracharya became very angry. Then he cursed the demons. That all of you are so ungrateful. I performed austerities for so many thousands of years only for your sake, and now you don't even accept me. He said, go, all of you will be ruined, all of you will be destroyed. And the demons, they didn't even care what their guru was saying. So then meanwhile Brihaspati, he started saying so many things to them, and the demons, they started getting cheated. So then meanwhile, this personality called Mahamoha manifested from Brihaspati. Who was Mahamoha? Mahamoha means illusion personified. So this person, illusion personified, he manifested. And who was he? He was actually Mahavir. The Jains, they worship Mahavir. Mahavir, if you see, the Jains, they worship him like he's almost naked. He's naked and he wanders everywhere naked. And similarly, even some of the Jains, they also follow in his footsteps. So he's actually called Mahamoha in the Shastras. Illusion personified. So he appeared and he started cheating the demons more and more. So therefore we see that those who wish to be cheated, they will be cheated. And those who wish to be sincere, who wish to advance, they will advance by the blessings of Bhagavan. No. In fact, even devotees themselves, they have to learn very hard lessons in their lives. Like once some devotees, they went to Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj and they asked Gaur Govinda Maharaj that why were we cheated? We accepted so many false gurus. Like some devotees accepted 3 gurus and all the 3 gurus fell away. They accepted one guru, he fell down. Then they accepted another guru, he fell down. Then they accepted a third guru, he fell down. Then they said, why did this happen to us? Because every time our guru fell, our heart was broken into so many pieces. Why did this happen? And Gaur Govind Maharaj, he said very sternly, in a very strict way, he said, that's because you wanted to be cheated, he said. Then they said, no, how can we possibly be desired to be cheated? In our hearts we had this desire to accept a Sadguru. Gaur Govind Maharaj said, you don't know, he said. Krishna knows. Krishna is staying in your heart. He knows all your desires. You wanted to be cheated, so you got cheated. But anyhow, now you want to advance. So therefore now you found a bona fide Guru, he said. So in this way we must be very sincere. If Krishna sees that we have the slightest desire of deceit in our hearts, hypocrisy in our hearts, then what will he do? He will fan those desires. And what will he do? He'll make those desires increase more and more. And then gradually he'll fulfill all those desires. He'll cheat us away from the path of devotional service. And then he'll bring us again back to the path of devotional service. But this may take many, many lifetimes. Like therefore, while performing sadhan, we must be very careful. We must not have any desire other than the desire to advance in bhakti. If we have any other desire in our lives, any other desire to have pratishtha, to have fame, to have following, to have followers, to have wealth, to have any other thing, then what will Krishna do? He will make sure he will fulfill those desires. And we may lose so many more births. So therefore we must be very careful. No, like we've been discussing the services of the Manjaris, the services of the Sakhis for some days and so many things. But these are the basic things. This is like the services of the Sakhis, Manjaris, all of that is very good. That shows us the path. But what about the foundation? If our foundation in the first place is not proper, if our foundation is shaking, then how can the building stand? No. All these things we're discussing, how can it possibly be retained in our hearts when the foundation itself is not proper? No. So therefore, what is the foundation? Foundation is proper sadachar, proper etiquette, properly following the limbs of devotional service. Properly. Do or die, I will follow. This is proper. When you have such a mentality, then you can hope to progress in devotional service and achieve all these moods that our Guru Varga is saying. Or else we'll be cheated. There's one more story from the Puranas. Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj has written an article about this. Once Virochan, who is Virochan? He's the grandfather of Prahlad. No, he's the grandson of Prahlad. Virochan is the grandson of Prahlad. No. Virochan is Bali Maharaj's father. Now Bali is the grandson of Prahlad and Virochan is the son of Prahlad. So once Virochan and Indra, they made a pact. Virochan and Indra, they said, let's stop fighting between each other and let's go to Brahma. We'll go to Brahma and we'll receive this Atma Vidya from him. What is Atma Vidya? Atma Vidya means the science of the soul, the very existence of the soul. So then Virochan and Brahma, they went to Indra. Virochan and Indra, they went to Brahma. So they told, oh, Pitamaha, oh great grandshire Brahma, please instruct us on Atma Vidya, on the path of this realizing the self. So then Brahma said, all right, I'll instruct you, but on one condition. You'll have to practice brahmacharya for 25 years. Then they said, how can we practice celibacy? Because we know, the demons and demigods are very much attached to sense gratification. The sense gratification we have is gross. No, we engage in sense gratification by this gross material body. But the demigods, how do they engage in sense gratification? They engage in sense gratification through their subtle material bodies. Their bodies are very subtle. Through subtle means they engage in sense gratification. But still they also have this desire. No. Even like we see Indra himself, what did he do? He polluted Gautam Rishi's wife Ahilya. He assumed the form of Gautam and he enjoyed with her. What did Chandra do? Chandra, he ran away with the wife of Brihaspati. Even begot a son from the wife of Brihaspati called Buddh. And we see even all the other demigods, they're always engaging in sense gratification. No. So therefore Brahma, he gave them a stern warning. He told the demons also, he told Virochan, practice brahmacharya for 25 years. Like we see even here, no. If you want to engage in devotional service, if you want to engage in Krishna Bhakti, you have to practice brahmacharya. What is the meaning of brahmacharya? Brahmacharya means not just disciplining yourself, not just controlling yourself. It means you become one-pointed. You become so absorbed in devotional service that you do not even care to engage in sense gratification. Because if you don't practice brahmacharya, how can your mind possibly be one-pointed? No. Someone may say that, oh, I'll practice bhakti at the same time I'll also gratify my senses. This is not proper. No. No. Like we see, the whole point of sense, the whole point of engaging, the whole point of copulating with the opposite sex means the whole point of associating with the opposite sex is for what? Is to beget children. No. It's actually a very holy thing. In the Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna say? He says, I am the means by which children are produced. No. So we see that man and woman, they should only unite for the purpose of begetting children, not for any other purpose. Therefore, those organs which are used to beget children, they are called reproductive organs. They are not called recreational organs. No. In science, what are we taught? They are called reproductive organs. Means you reproduce children for what? To beget Krishna conscious children, to beget devotees. They are not called recreational organs where you keep losing all your vital energy. It is said, Swami Maharaj said, every person, he is allotted a certain number of breaths. Like every time we breathe, no, every time we take an inhalation, like we breathe, every time we take a deep breath, it's said that in one person's life, he's allotted a certain number of breaths. Not more, not less. And as soon as his time is up, he has to leave his body. So therefore Swami Maharaj even used to say that a person who's jogging, a person who's running to exercise, he's actually reducing his life, Swami Maharaj said. People sometimes they jog for which reason? To increase their lifespan. But Swami Maharaj said by jogging what happens? He's breathing very fast. No, he's breathing very fast. And what happens that time? He's actually reducing his life. Because all his breaths actually, they're being reduced. Similarly, when a person engages in all these sexual activities, what happens? He's breathing so fast, he or she. And that time what happens? He's losing his lifespan. No. People when they're having sex, no, what happens? Then they're very happy. No, they're thinking I'm getting so much pleasure. But what happens actually? Like the camel, what does the camel do? It's chewing thorns and it's drinking its own blood. Similarly, a person when he's engaging in all these things, is actually drinking his own blood. Means he's losing his own life. No, this is very important. No. So therefore, Brahma he told Indra and Virochan, follow brahmacharya. Therefore, even in all the Vedic scriptures, it is said that every person, every boy, he is sent to the Gurukul, and until 25 years of age, he remains in the Gurukul, celibate. And then after 25 years of age, if he desires to return home, he can return home. And then he can become a grihastha. Or else he can continue remaining a brahmachari in the temple. But 25 years is compulsory to be brahmachari. No, brahmacharya is very holy. It is said, Swami Maharaj said, anyone who follows brahmacharya, he is already 50% liberated, he said. Already 50% liberated. He said, even the Mayavadis who follow brahmacharya are 50% liberated, he said. Swami Maharaj, in fact, he used to give an example. He said, Gandhi, he followed brahmacharya for a certain number of years. He left his wife after he was 30 years old. He said, only because of practicing brahmacharya, he made the British leave India, he said. Brahmacharya is so powerful, he said. He said, even politicians practice brahmacharya, he said. And what to speak of devotees, he said. No, therefore it is. So therefore Brahma, he said, practice brahmacharya for 25 years. No ifs, no buts. And I said, alright, we'll practice brahmacharya for 25 years. Then they practiced strictly. Then they came to Brahma. Then they said, please instruct us on Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya. Then Brahma said, alright, go stand in front of the mirror. And they stood in front of the mirror. Then he said, look into the mirror. And Indra and Virochan, they saw their reflection on the mirror. Then they said, the person you see, that person is your soul. That person you see in the mirror, that person is your soul. Then immediately Virochan became very happy, which means the body is the soul. No, when he says the reflection you see is the soul, means Brahma is saying your body is the soul. They call the Dehatmavadis. Dehatma. Deha Atma means they're saying the body is the soul itself. So then Virochan, immediately he returned to Patalok and he started instructing all his citizens that, oh, you do as you wish, as you want. This body itself is the soul. If you want to make the soul happy, then make the body happy. Then how can you make the body happy? Engage in sense gratification. Eat, drink, make merry, do as you wish. Then all the citizens in the country, they started following their king. And they all started enjoying nicely. But then Indra, he was very intelligent. When he returned to Swarga, he was thinking, what has Brahma said actually? Actually, we were engaging in these things even before we came to him. And he's given us the same instruction. This is not proper, he said. Indra said, Brahma is actually cheating us. So in Indra, he returned to Brahma. The Brahma said, oh Indra, why have you returned? I gave you these instructions on Atma Vidya. Then he said, oh Pitamaha, don't cheat me. Virochan, he's cheated already, but you don't cheat me, please. Then Brahma said, all right. Then practice brahmacharya for another 25 years. And Indra again, he practiced brahmacharya, celibacy, for another 25 years. Then he came back. Then Brahma said, all right, that person who you think, that person through whom you think, whom you feel, whom you will, that person is your Atma. Means, the mind is your Atma. So Indra became happy. He said, all right, this is proper. The body is gross, but the mind is subtle. So the mind is the Atma. He became very happy. He returned to Swarga. But then again he was thinking, how can the mind possibly be the Atma? Because even the mind is an aspect of the material energy. No. Even the mind, what is it? It's actually a semblance of consciousness. So even the mind cannot be the Atma possibly. Because the Atma is Chinmay. It's spiritual. But I see the mind is always polluted by so many material desires. No. Means the mind is always accepting something or rejecting something. If something is favorable for our sense enjoyment, the mind accepts. And something is not favorable, the mind rejects. So then all right, he said, all right again, he said. Then he went again to Brahma. Then Brahma said, all right. Again you practice brahmacharya for 25 years. Then again he practiced brahmacharya for 25 years. So 75 years he practiced brahmacharya. So then Brahma said, all right. That person whom you see in your sleep, that person is the Atma. That person when you fall asleep, that person whom you see in your dreams, that person is in the Atma. So Indra became happy then. He said, all right. Then that person cannot certainly be the mind. Because when I'm sleeping, the mind is also asleep. So the person I'm seeing in my dreams, that may be the Atma. But then again Indra had a doubt in his mind. He said, how can that person be the Atma? Because sometimes I see in my dreams, that person is sometimes dying and sometimes he's alive. But the Atma is always everlasting, eternal. The Atma never dies. Then how can that person be the Atma? So again he returned to Brahma. Then Brahma told him, now again you practice brahmacharya for 25 years. Then 100 years he practiced brahmacharya, then Indra. Then Brahma, he spoke the science of the soul. Then he said, oh, what is the Atma? The Atma is part and parcel of Bhagavan. The Atma is the eternal servant of Bhagavan. To realize yourself means to realize your service to Krishna, your service to Prabhu. So practice the 9 limbs of devotional service. Practice bhajan. Do Hari bhajan. Practice Hari Bhakti. Then you will know what the Atma is. Then Indra, what did he do? He practiced devotional service. And then he became perfect. And then he went back home, back to Godhead. Because we see Indra means not a person. Indra means a post. This post is occupied by so many different living entities. So therefore this particular living entity who had accepted the post of Indra, he practiced devotional service and he became perfect. So similarly, our Guru Varga are always saying that if you want to practice this devotional service, then you must be ideal. You must be proper in your conduct. Brahmacharis should be Pakka Brahmacharis. Grahasthas should be Pakka Grahasthas. No. Even sometimes we see even Grahasthas, they are great devotees. In fact, once during Param Gurudev's time, there was one brahmachari, he was criticizing the Grahasthas so much. The Grahasthas are useless, this, that. And then Param Gurudev, he looked at this brahmachari. He said, you are useless, he said. How can you possibly criticize the Grahasthas? The Pandavas were Grahasthas. So many associates of Mahaprabhu, they were Grahasthas. Therefore, don't criticize anyone. Everyone, they're acting according to their own adhikar. No. Like sometimes we see that actually, like those persons who actually criticize the Grahasthas so much. No. Like, actually they end up becoming Grahasthas. We see like so many, they criticize so much. These Grahasthas are like this, are like that, this, then after some time they become Grahastha also, No. They are all, everyone is working according to their own adhikar. No, you must never criticize anyone in that sense. Because even because we see, we don't know what we've done in our previous lives. Gurudev, he said that some who have accepted the path of renunciation, they were already Grahasthas in their previous lives. They were already Grahasthas. They've already tasted this Grahasthashram in their previous lives. Therefore, they've accepted this path of renunciation in this life. But those who are grahasthas in this life, they haven't tasted this grahastha ashram in their previous lives. Therefore, they're tasting this sanskar in this life. So they cannot be blamed in one way also. And while those who are renunciants, in one way they have also experienced all these things in their previous lives. Therefore, according to their adhikar, everyone is acting. And vanaprasthas should be pakka vanaprasthas. And then in this way. So in this way, by following this proper sadachar, then we can accept. Then we can understand all these moods. No, or else what can we possibly understand? No, all these different moods of devotional service. Like we see, Gurudev, he said that once he was in the West, and some person, he approached him and he said, oh, please give me Siddha Pranali. Please give me this path of perfection. Then Gurudev said, oh, you want Siddha Pranali? He said, yes. I want to have this mood of a Manjari. Then Gurudev said, oh, are you still attracted to women, the opposite sex? He said, yes. Are you still attracted to money? He said, yes. Do you want prestige, pratishtha? He said, yes. Do you want the things of this world? He said, yes. Then when you have so many attachments, then how can you possibly achieve Siddha Pranali? He said. Then he said, no. Practice the path of devotional service. If you want Siddha Pranali, this mantra for Siddha Pranali, then I'll give you this mantra, Gurudev said. He said, you practice this mantra, you'll achieve Siddha Pranali, he said. What is that mantra for Siddha Pranali? Mahaprabhu's third shlok in Shikshastakam. What is that? Trinadapi sunichena taroriva shaishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. This is Siddha Pranali, he said. If you practice this mantra in your life, then you'll surely achieve Gopi Bhav, he said. You know, so therefore we see that by following all these limbs, one by one, one step at a time, then we can hope to advance in our devotional service. So in this way, people have so many unlimited desires. They always want their desires to be fulfilled. But what happens? The more ghee you add inside the fire, the more the fire rages. No. The more ghee you're adding, the more the fire is raging. The fire, it cannot be doused. It cannot be extinguished. Similarly, the more we try to satisfy our material desires, the more we'll be dissatisfied. We'll never be happy in our lives. No. So God is like a father, and he always desires the welfare of his children. Why didn't Prahlad pray to the Lord to protect him from the atrocities of his father? Prahlad said, the Lord knows what is best for me. Why should I disturb him? See Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu was torturing him in so many ways, but still he never prayed once to Krishna that please protect me, please save me. He knew that Krishna, if he desires that I die, then I will die. And if he desires that I should live, then I will live. So if Krishna's desire is there, then why should I care? So he never even prayed for Krishna for his own thing, for his own health or something. Because we see in the shloka Rupa Goswami is written, he has said, Anya Bilashita Shunyam. Rupa Goswami could have said, Anya Bilasha Shunyam. Why did he say Anya Bilashita? Anya Bilashita means, under special extraordinary circumstances, one can pray to Krishna for his own protection. Like we see Draupadi, no? When Draupadi was being disrobed in the royal assembly, then she prayed to Krishna. That, oh Krishna, please protect me, please save me. So someone may say, oh, this is Anya Bilash. Draupadi is praying to Krishna for her own protection. This is a separate desire. How can this be pure devotion? And even the Sakhas also, no? When they were in the forest, there was a big forest fire. So then they all started praying to Krishna. Oh Krishna, please save us, please protect us. Someone may say, oh, the Sakhas, even they're praying to Krishna for their own protection. This is Anya Bilash. But no, Rupa Goswami said, Anya Bilashita Shunyam. Under special extraordinary circumstances, one can pray to Krishna in this way. And this is also pure bhakti, he said. This is not any separate desire. But Prahlad, he was even free from Anya Bilashita. Even when Prahlad was being tortured by his father, when his father wanted to kill him in so many ways, he never prayed once to Krishna that please protect me. So he didn't have even Anya Bilashita Shunyam. So, no, Prahlad had this speciality. So therefore we see, then Prahlad, he was always in his heart, he only thought about Krishna without desiring anything else, even his own protection. Then Sanda and Amarka, the sons of Shukracharya, they said, Prahlad, you are very strong. Are you not disturbed? Then he said, why Gurudev? Sanda and Amarka, they told Prahlad that your father is always torturing you. Why are you not disturbed by your father? No one is favorable to you here. All are demons. So then Prahlad said, why should I be disturbed? Why should I be hopeless? God is with me. Krishna is with me. So therefore, now Prabhuji is saying, now we heard before how the Lord takes rest on Shayan Ekadashi. He sends Nidra Devi, and then the jivas don't disturb others. Those who are always disturbing others are put under the influence of Nidra Devi by the order of the Lord. At this time, Krishna puts the Dwarkavasis and all his other associates to rest. See here, what is the meaning of Shayan Ekadashi? Shayan Ekadashi means all the residents of Dwarka, they go to sleep during this time. Then what happens? Krishna, he goes to Brajmandal. And there he associates with all the Vrajavasis. Krishna is not tired. Normally we hear that Krishna falls asleep. But the living entities, they always disturb each other. And they do their best to disturb and control Krishna. So therefore, during these 4 months, he arranges that all these living entities, they rest during Chaturmasya. Means what? Means all the karmis, all the jnanis, all the tyagis, all the tapasvis, they are all put to sleep during these 4 months. Means they don't disturb the devotees anymore. Kumbhakarna, the brother of Ravan, was made to sleep for 6 months at a time. Otherwise, what would he do? He would eat all the animals in the area. If this arrangement was not made, he would have finished everything. He would have eaten all the animals created by Brahma. Therefore, for 6 months he was sleeping. So Kumbhakarna had a very voracious appetite. Whatever he would see, he would eat. So therefore, Saraswati Devi, what did she do? Anyhow, she gave him this benediction. When Kumbhakarna prayed to Brahma, then Saraswati Devi, she sat on his tongue. And when he was asking for this benediction, Saraswati Devi, anyhow, she manipulated his words. And then when he asked for benediction, he said, oh, I want to sleep for 6 months. So in this way, Jagannath, he invites Nidra Devi. And she comes, and what does she do? She puts everyone to sleep. So during these 4 months, all those who are opposed to devotional service, they all fall asleep. So now Shayan Ekadashi has passed. Now the living entities are silent. And Krishna has come to Vrindavan Dham. Now it is Kamika Ekadashi. So what is this Kam? No. Kam means what? Kam means lust. But what does Kam in the spiritual world mean? Means the prem of the gopis. No. Lust means to gratify your own senses. No. Lust means you want to enjoy with others. You want to give pleasure to your own self. But what is Kam? Or what is prem? Prem means you want to give gratification to Krishna's senses. You want to give pleasure to Krishna, not for your own self. The gopis, you see, even they were lusty in one way. Some people say the gopis are very lusty. But their lust was for whom? Their Kam was for whom? Their Kam was solely and wholly only for Krishna, not for anyone else. Their Kam was only to please him. Therefore, their Kam cannot be called lust. Their Kam was actually the highest form of prem. But still, we have this lust within our hearts. So Mahaprabhu always prayed, oh, I am surrendered to you, Krishna. Please give me shelter. Since millions of lives I have tried to fulfill my desires, but they can never be fulfilled. You see here, Mahaprabhu, he's playing the role of a sadhak, and he's praying to Krishna. He's saying, oh Krishna, I've tried to fulfill my desires since so many millions of lives, but still I cannot fulfill them. Please anyhow protect me. So how can we be freed of our desires? Bhagwan, he sends Kamika Ekadashi to help the living entities. What does she do? Ekadashi Devi in this form, first she takes all the desires away from our hearts. What are these desires called? Kamana. She gives us only one desire. How can I serve Krishna? She only gives us this understanding. Now there are so many other desires in our hearts. No. Like we see, one anartha is called Asat Trishna. Asat Trishna means this thirst for mundane things. And what is this thirst? This thirst to enjoy in this material world. This longing to go to heaven, to enjoy with all the apsaras there, the celestial damsels. This desire to have all these mystic perfections. This desire to become one with Brahma, like the Mayavadis. So all these insignificant desires are within our hearts, these vasanas. So what does Ekadashi Devi do? What does Kamika Ekadashi do? She enters in our hearts and she removes this Kam. And what does she do? She makes sure that Aprakrit Kam, that enters our hearts. Not this Prakrit Kam, this mundane Kam. Like we see, anyone who's engaged in sense gratification, if you ask him, do you have everything you want? He will say, no, I want more, I want more. He can never be satisfied, this desire. You see here, Gurudev is saying, some people even take sannyas, but still they have so many desires, he's saying. Even sannyasis are not spared, he's saying. Even sannyasis, they also have so many desires within their hearts. This is called Falgu Vairagya. You see, in Bihar, there is a river called the Falgu Nadi. The Falgu Nadi, when it flows, it seems that it's actually dry. On top there's so much sand covering the river. But when you place your hand inside, when you place your hand deeper, deeper and deeper, what happens? You'll see that there's a river flowing underneath. Similarly, even sannyasis, even those who are in this renounced order of life, if they have not completely offered themselves to Krishna, even their hearts are covered by so many material desires. Externally they are covered by saffron. No, externally they are covered by saffron, by all these different formalities. But inside within their hearts they have so many desires also. So therefore, one must be very careful, regardless of being a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha or a sannyasi. So now Krishna, he has come back to Vrindavan. So during this time of Chaturmasya, Krishna has left Dwaraka, he has come to Vrindavan. The Vrajavasis never disturb Krishna. They never ask for anything from him. No. Like even when the Vrajavasis performed this Govardhan Puja, when Govardhan appeared in front of them, then what did the Vrajavasis ask for Govardhan? Now you see so many people are performing Govardhan Parikrama. They have so many desires in their hearts. They say, oh Govardhan, please give me a good wife. Please give me good children. Please give me a good home. Give me this, give me that. So many do Parikrama only for this reason. But what did the Vrajavasis ask from Giriraj? They asked only for one thing. Please make sure that our Krishna is always safe and happy. Because so many demons are always trying to kill him. So Giriraj, please make sure that our Kanaya, our Krishna, is always safe and sound, always protected. So therefore the Vrajavasis only desire Krishna's welfare. All the Sakhas, the parents, all the Vrajavasis have so much love for him. The Sakhis, they only say, oh, we only want your happiness, Krishna. Therefore we argue with you. Therefore we fight with you. For what reason? Only for your pleasure. You can do as you like. Whether you punish us or show us love. We are yours and you are ours. See, this is pure love. You can kick us. You can do anything you wish to do with us. But we will never disturb you. We will only love you. See, this is selfless love in this world. In this world, you see, people always want love. No. Love is the basic element in this life. No. Like we see even in the temple also. So many of my own god brothers, they have left. No. Like, because when some of these god brothers were leaving, some of our own god brothers, when they were leaving, they said that, like, on my own, I get very lonely here in the temple. I cannot stay. I need this love. No, so therefore, this love itself cannot be neglected. This is the central element in our lives. No. Therefore, it is very important to have a relationship with the devotees around you. Very important. Or else if you don't have a good relationship with the people around you while living in the temple, then what happens? You'll start becoming lonely. Then you'll start becoming lonelier and lonelier and lonelier, and one day you'll end up leaving the temple. No, because man is a social animal. No, man always needs relationships. Without relationships, how can he possibly survive in this world? These are very simple things, basic things, living in the temple. Therefore, even the Vaishnavas always stress, always have good relationships with all your god brothers. Also with your god sisters. With all of them, all have good relationships. No. This way, also we must maintain certain inhibition with the others, but still, we must never isolate ourselves, segregate ourselves. No. People come to Guru and Vaishnavas, but they complain and they compete with one another. They only disturb Guru and Vaishnavas. Why? Because they have so many material desires within their hearts. No, they have so many impurities within their hearts. How have we come to Vrindavan? Srila Gurudev, he used to tell a story. Previously, a wealthy landowner, he came to Vrindavan to do bhajan. He renounced everything. He decided to take rest on the bank of the Yamuna. Using sand from the bank, he made a raised bed and pillows to sleep on. He could not sleep without pillows. This was his nature. The Vrajavasis who went to the Yamuna to bathe and to collect water, they saw him and they said, look at this Babaji. He has left everything and he's lying on the bank of the Yamuna, but he cannot forget his old nature. He has made so many pillows out of sand. When the former landowner heard this, he became disturbed. He smashed his bed of sand and then he lay on the ground. When the Vrajavasis returned, they saw him and they said, how can he be a Babaji? He has so much anger within his heart. We only made a small comment and immediately he reacted in frustration. He has collected so much garbage in his heart. Therefore you see the Vrajavasis, they're always abusing people. Even now you see, the Vrajavasis, they like abusing people so much. Why? Because the more they abuse, the more they're making all these anarthas within your heart leave. The more and more they're abusing. So therefore here you see also, this way they're taunting this person so much and he's becoming so angry. But what do the Vrajavasis want? They only desire that he leaves this anger behind. So here he has left his family, but he cannot leave his anger. He cannot leave his desires. If he could do that, then we would understand he's a real renunciant. Therefore Mahaprabhu said, a renunciant should chant the holy name and be satisfied with whatever is available and necessary to maintain his body at the bare minimum. This is very important. No, renunciants especially should have a very minimal lifestyle. They should never have more than what is needed. Once Gurudev, he went to the Jagannath Puri temple along with Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. When he went there, he wanted to honor some Jagannath Mahaprasad. But Gurudev and Vaman Goswami Maharaj, they were such Nishkinchan Vaishnavas, they didn't even have money in their pockets. You can imagine, Vaman Maharaj was the president, he was the Acharya of Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, and Gurudev was the vice president. But still they didn't even have money in their pockets. They were such Nishkinchan Vaishnavas that they didn't even carry money with them. So then they were thinking, how can we get Jagannath Mahaprasad? Then immediately one person, he came forward and he gave them Jagannath Mahaprasad. So you just see how our Guru Varga are. Completely Nishkinchan. They have nothing on their own. Even when Gurudev, when he'd go to the West, when he'd collect so much money, he'd never keep anything with himself. Whatever money he'd come, he'd just give it away. He'd give it away to his secretary, to his sevaks, never keep anything with himself. That's how he was. No. Like we see also, no, when Gurudev, he told Prabhuji that you start this temple in Navadvip. He said, oh, you should build a nice temple for me in Navadvip. He said, I want a temple near the railway station. I want a temple near the Ganga. I want a temple near my Guru Maharaj's Samadhi, near my God brother's Samadhi. I want a temple which is very easily accessible to all the devotees, coming from all over Bengal and all over India, all over the world. So then Prabhuji said, all right. Then Prabhuji said, but how can I possibly buy land for this temple? How can I possibly build a temple? I need some funds, some donations also. So then Gurudev, what did he do? Anyhow, he reached out somewhere in his room and then he gave 5,000 rupees to Prabhuji. He said, you take this 5,000 rupees. So then Prabhuji said, what can I possibly do with 5,000 rupees? How can I possibly buy land worth lakhs and even crores with 5,000 rupees? How can I build a temple with 5,000 rupees? And Gurudev said, what can I do? I have only this much money, he said. I don't have more money than this, he said. And Gurudev he was actually saying the thing, he was saying when I only have this much money, he only had that much money. He didn't have more money than that. Because the others had more money than him, but he didn't have anything. No. So they were completely Nishkinchan. In fact, Swami Prabhupada himself, when he went preaching, so many millions of dollars came to him. But he stressed so much on saving one single penny. Once Swami Maharaj, he was speaking to one devotee who was responsible for constructing this Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. So Swami Maharaj, he asked this devotee, how much do you need? So this devotee, he said, I need 1 lakh rupees. Then Swami Maharaj said, all right. He called his secretary. He told his secretary, give this devotee 1 lakh rupees. Then Swami Maharaj said, how will you collect this 1 lakh rupees? Then this devotee said, I have 2 ways to take this money from you. One way is if you write me a check, then anyhow I can go to the bank myself here in Mumbai and then I can collect this money and I can go to Vrindavan. But the bank will take a commission, he said. If you give me like 1 lakh rupees, the bank will take away 1,000 rupees, he said, or like something like that. Then Swami Maharaj said, what about the bank in Vrindavan? He said, the bank in Vrindavan will take a little less. It will not take 1,000 rupees, it will take 990 rupees commission, 10 rupees less. Then Swami Maharaj said, how much money does it take for you to go from the temple to the bank on a rickshaw? He said, 5 rupees. Then Swami Maharaj said, all right, don't collect the money here in Mumbai, go and collect the money in Vrindavan. Just to save 5 rupees, he sent him all the way to Vrindavan with the check. And he said, catch a rickshaw from the temple, go to the bank and take this money, he said. Only to save 5 rupees, you can imagine. Here he's giving 1 lakh rupees to this devotee, but just to save 5 rupees, he's saying you catch a rickshaw from the temple, go to the bank and collect the money from the bank and come back. So therefore you see how our Guru Varga are, no? Why do they care so much? Because we see every rupee they value is for whom? Is for Mahaprabhu. Is for Radha and Krishna, is for their service. Like we see even when Prabhuji, when he'd go to Govardhan Parikrama, like one devotee was just saying, like Amal Prabhu, all of you know Amal Prabhu, no? He stays in Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, very senior. He was saying that when he would go Parikrama with Prabhuji, when he and all the brahmacharis would go with him on Parikrama to Govardhan, Prabhuji would walk for so much time. he would walk for like 3-4 kilometers from Mathura and then catch a rickshaw to go to Govardhan. Why? Just to save that money. Like if he'd catch if he would catch a rickshaw directly from the temple, the rickshawala, he might charge like 20 rupees per person. But if he would walk for like 3-4 kilometers and then catch a rickshaw, then he may charge like 10 rupees per person. Then he may reduce the money, like 5 or 10 rupees. So this is how they were. This is how they are. They value so much all this Lakshmi given. Why? Because this is their service to Krishna. No. Therefore we see how they are. Therefore they have such purity in their lives. No. Therefore we see that we should try imbibing these things in our own lives. No. Like sometimes if we have like anything we have, why do we offer it to the Vaishnavas? What is the reason? Like sometimes even if we get like 10 rupees, 100 rupees, why do we immediately give it to the Vaishnavas? Why? Because on our own we cannot manage this money. But in their hands anyhow they will manage. No. They will anyhow manage everything. Everything they do is only for Krishna's service. Like once, like so many different like recollections, memories devotees have. Like once one devotee, he was cooking with Prabhuji in the temple, in the Mathura temple, Keshavji Gaudiya Math. So then when he was cooking, they were making some sabji of green peas. No, matar. Matar sabji is green peas. Like all these like small green peas. So then when this devotee was cooking with Prabhuji, like 1 or 2 green peas, they fell away from like this bowl. 1 or 2 green peas, they fell away. Prabhuji chastised him so much, saying, hey, you don't have any value. Even this 1 or 2 green peas are going to be offered as bhoga to Krishna. You don't have any sense. He chastised him. I myself, like when I first joined the temple in Navadvip, like I was distributing rice like to all the devotees there. And then Prabhuji, he was standing, he was looking. And then when I was distributing rice, somehow like some little rice, it fell out of the spoon on the ground. Immediately I got chastised. I just joined the temple then. Prabhuji just chastised me immediately. Hey, you don't know that this rice is Lakshmi Devi herself. Lakshmi Devi herself has given this prasad. And you don't have any sense that you're dropping so much rice. So that's why. Everything they value, every particle. Why? For Krishna's service, for the pleasure of Guru, for the pleasure of Vaishnavas, pleasure of Sri Hari. Therefore here Mahaprabhu is saying that a renunciant should always be he should have bare necessities in life. Not more, not less. As much as he can. Once there were 5 brothers living in an ashram. One day their Gurudev arranged 5 rasgullas for them. One brother was not there at that time. So one of the boys, they kept 1 rasgulla aside for him. After some time the boy thought, oh, he has not come and ants will eat his rasgulla. He looked again and again at his brother's sweet. At last he thought, I will eat this today and give him another tomorrow. Gurudev will give us more. So later the Guru of the boys came and he said, your brother came, did you give him a rasgulla? I will give him 2 tomorrow. What happened? Oh, many ants, flies were coming for the rasgulla, so I ate it. And then I thought I'll give him tomorrow. If it was rotten or had any problem, what was your disturbance? Why did you take it? So Guru is chastising this person, that why are you so much concerned about this? So this way, our tongues and minds are always uncontrolled. Once a disciple of Param Gurudev, he approached him and he said, Gurudev, it is not good for brahmacharis to eat at night. Param Gurudev agreed. He said, yes, it is a good idea. If you want to refrain from eating at night, then you can rise early for Brahma Muhurta without difficulty. Then the disciple said, Gurudev, I have a humble request. Please give me just 250 milliliters of milk in the evening. I don't want anything else. Param Gurudev called the storekeeper and he said, for the rest of your life, you will never be able to have milk again, he said. Param Gurudev said. Param Gurudev said, oh, you have given up this desire to eat in the night, but still you have not given up this desire to drink milk in the night. This much sense you don't have. So they say, how can we be liberated from all these unlimited desires? This is our karma bandhan. Why aren't we happy? Everything is available in this world. In this world, no one can eat gold chapatis or more than he can manage. Krishna gives everything. Everything is arranged at our birth. All the food, everything is already arranged. So, Swami Maharaj, he has given us an example that God has given us a good mouth. He has given us He has given us a good body. But why do we kill animals? Why do we commit so much violence towards other living entities? Why? Because of all these desires. We come to the holy dham, but still we cannot follow in the footsteps of Guru and Vaishnavas. Why? Because of so many separate desires. So now the Vrajavasis, they tell Krishna during these 4 months of Chaturmasya, please remain in Braj, do not leave, no one will disturb you. Krishna says, Krishna says, yes, I will only follow you. I will not think about anything else. So therefore, Kamika Ekadashi, she gives us good desire. Krishna is Chaitya Guru. He gives us good advice, and Kamika Ekadashi, she gives us good desire. So Ekadashi Devi, she comes at Brahma Muhurta. This is her fixed time, from 3 a.m. in the morning to 6 a.m. She is not controlled by the sun and moon. She comes and she helps all the jivas during this time. So I'm just skipping like a lot of parts. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he refers to Ekadashi Devi as the mother of devotion, Bhakti Janani. This way, what does she do? This Ekadashi Devi, she makes sure that pure devotion arises in the hearts of all the devotees. So then Prabhuji is explaining how Ambarish Maharaj, how he serves Krishna in all the different ways of devotion. So in this way, we'll stop here because we're running out of time. So there's one last story Prabhuji is saying. Once Shiv Thakur, he left Kailash. He came to Kamyavan and he prayed to Srimati Radhika. He said, every day countless people approach me with so many desires. I give them everything they want, but still they're disturbing me. What can I do? Then the Vrajadevis themselves told Lord Shiva, don't you know the glories of Kamika Ekadashi? You are present in Kamyavan. This forest fulfills all desires. Now follow here, Ekadashi. Kamyavan. Kam means this forest fulfills all the desires. Specifically which desire? The desire to serve Krishna. So then Shiv Thakur, he became very happy there in Kamyavan. He was not disturbed by anyone's kamana, desire. No one came to bother him. The only kamana there that everyone has is, how can I show my love to Krishna? How can I serve him? This desire to serve Krishna is the first and foremost necessity for the sadhak. Once this is achieved, everything else is achieved. What is the first desire? How can I serve Krishna? Only this desire one has in his heart, then all the other desires will gradually follow. Which means he will gradually have all his other desires fulfilled and he will achieve Krishna Prem. So therefore, on this day of Ekadashi, we should only pray with folded hands and with all our sincerity in our hearts that Ekadashi Devi, she forgives us for all our offenses, for all our anarthas. And then she blesses us to have this pure devotional service appear in our hearts. And that we only have one desire, one kamana. What? Like it's been told here. How can I serve Krishna? So we'll stop here. Ansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shila Gurudev ki jai, Shila Param Gurudev ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanakariya Guru Varga ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.